Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to make a bow tie headband, and we're going to use the 22 pin to do it. So we need to start with some waste yarn. So start with your black hook, and if you're not sure how to load, it's behind and front, behind and front, behind and front, like a zigzag. It's in your instructions for your machine. So I'm starting in front of my black one. I'm going to go behind my next one, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind. This machine's a little harder because it's got these stupid things in the way, but this is a Sentro. So you should come back where you're behind your white peg. I'm just going to go into the medium settings. So 5 rows of waste yarn, and then we'll add our project yarn. Well, that's 3 rows for me because I ran out. I'm going to add my project yarn with the part of it that's the bow. So I'm going to start with white, and then I'll change to the headband color. So take that out and just drop it down. So now it's around my black. I'm going to stick this back in. I'm going to go back into medium. And I'm just going to drop it down. This white needle should pick it up. So we're going to do 12 rows with white. That's my 12 rows of white. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to drop it down so that the black needle catches it. I'm going to add, I'm using blue for this one. I'm just going to use some blue. I'm just going to stick it in. I'm going to let the white needle catch it, just like the other stuff. And I'm going to do 76 rows of the blue. So I'm going to turn and let my needles catch, and then I'm going to tie my knot. Just so I don't have to take care of this business later, I'm going to tie a double knot, but I know what the tension is. I've been doing this for a while, so if you're not sure, just tie a single knot, and then you can always tighten it up later. That's my 76. So I am going to cut the blue. Take that out, and I'm going to add my white back to make the other side of the bow. And then I'm going to do 12 rows of the white for the other side of the bow. And then I'm going to do my waste yarn to finish it off. So, we're going to end with waste yarn. As long as your waste yarn is contrasting color, you should be perfectly fine. So I'm going to do, well, I mean, generally it's 5 rows. I did 3 for my first one because I ran out, and I'll just run out whatever I have here, and I'll just keep turning the machine and it'll take itself off. You know what, I'm just going to cut this because it's just too long. So, oh, I just dropped my scissors. So, once you're out, just let your yarn go in, and this would take itself off the machine. Sometimes it gets stuck on needles, but you can just pull them off. So, I'll meet you at the craft table. This yarn is great, by the way, if you're wondering what I'm using. This is from Hobby Lobby. The color is 6, so I know that's not helpful, but it's a tweed. It's from their Tweed Dreams collection. So it's great. It works fantastic in a circular knitting machine. And the white was just a red heart. It works okay, I suppose. So, whatever knots you have to deal with that you tied, because you would have tied a knot here for when you joined the two colors, you can make it a double knot and then snip it off, but make sure you leave some nubbies. And then we would have tied another one over here. And of course, I already did mine. I just tighten them because I already did my double knot. But if you're not that familiar with your machine yet, you may want to just do it now. That way you know the tension you need in here, because you can pull too tight or not enough, and then you're gonna have a hole. So stretch, 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 stretch. These here and here need to be on the side of your work for us to do stuff. So you're gonna need a crochet hook. I'll just use this 4. And we're gonna close this up. Hence why we used the waste yarn in this color. There's a number of ways you can close this up. You can do it on this side using your, and now this, it really doesn't matter how we do it, because it's all going to be sewn together, but you can use your tail to do this, so you can go through both stitches like that if you're a crocheter and make a single crochet to close your end up. But I just feel it puts this great big bump on the top. Now again, these are all getting sewn together, so it doesn't really matter. Another way you can do it that's got a much better look, let me take that out, is forget about those right now. Let's go to the other side. So we'll go to the other side away from these guys, and you can do a slip stitch. So you'll grab your first stitch, making sure to grab all of it, and you're going to grab this and your next stitch, and you're just going to pull it through. That's a slip stitch. Then you grab your next stitch and you're going to pull it through that stitch. Now it does take a little more time than what I just showed you, but it's a much nicer, cleaner look. That's the look you get. So I prefer to do it this way, even though it's a little more time consuming. Even though they're getting sewn together, I still care about what it looks like. Again, this is not my design. I actually seen a video of somebody else doing the bow tie. I don't remember the channel. It was too many months ago. And I decided to do some for my girls, so I did a video. Doing a video. Why not? But this is not my design. There are so many channels out there that are doing them that I actually don't know whose original design it was. So I cannot help you there. So once you get to the end, your last stitch, you're gonna pull through and then take your little tail here, pull through that, and then again yarn over and pull through that. And that pulls all the way through, and you've made a knot to secure that. So you can just pull that down. So this can be removed. Your cast on is harder to get off than your cast off. So your cast on, I find, if you just go to the bottom piece of yarn, or top piece, however you're looking at it, go to the top piece of yarn and pull it all out. When you come back around full circle, then you'll be able to take it off with ease. So the other one you can just pull, it'll come off, but the cast on is a little more difficult. So once you're back around, you can just pull and it'll come off, except for mine that's got this going on. Pull that out. I had to pull mine out backwards because I had a frayed end, but yours won't be that difficult. So I still got a piece of red in there. Look at piece of that frayed. So that's what it should look like. You just got to make sure you got no stitches hanging, that you got them all. So do the same thing for the other side, and I'll deal with that later. Actually, that's garbage. It's the exact same way, unless you wanted to use your, like, crochet it. It's the exact same thing. So you're just going to come in and you're going to pull through just like before. Sometimes it's hard to see your stitches and you just gotta dig a bit. So I've got one more stitch. Oh, I might have missed a stitch there. So anyway, pull through and then pull through again to make your knot. Now this side, it comes off pretty easy. So that's what it should look like. I thought I had missed a stitch, but I didn't. Yeah, mine got all stuck, but generally it's easy. So anyway, stretch out your work. So you're going to sew them together here, and then we're going to crochet a little piece to go around here so it looks like a bow. Like that. That's the plan, Stan. So one of these stragglers can be your sewing machine and the other one can just get tucked away. So I'm just doing a whip stitch. Nothing fancy. I'm not really pulling all that tight either, only because I'm putting a big thing around it and I'm going to sew it together that way. So I'm going to try to make a knot. So now that I've kind of really crudely sewed that together, I'm just going to weave my end up there, and then this thing can get hidden in between the layers if you want. You don't really need to be that serious about it because it's really not going to go anywhere. So we will crochet unless you're good at flat panels, we will crochet a piece for the middle. So I'm just going to use my 4. We're going to make a slip knot. You're going to chain 7. So you have 6 working stitches because the 7th one is on your hook. You're just going to do single crochets. So 1 in each stitch. So go into your stitch, you're going to grab some yarn, pull through. You're going to yarn over again. You're going to pull through those 2. This is a single crochet for those that don't get crocheting. So you're going to come to the end, so in your last stitch you're going to chain 1. Then you're going to, so this is how you're sending, you're going to turn it around. So now you're looking at the back of it and you're going to do it again. You're going to single crochet in those 6 stitches. So count, make sure you're counting 6 every time. This last stitch is hard to see. So there's a stitch there, but sometimes you got to turn it over to see the V, but it's there. So just make sure you're getting 6 stitches every time, and then you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn it, and you're going to do it again. So you're going to do this for 15 rows, or until this is really tight. So make this so that it's tight. When you put it around here to sew it at the back, you should be pulling this down like this. So, pulling it down like this, so it actually looks like a bow. It's not going to be just loose. It needs to be tight around here to make this like that. So that's what we're going to do. So I had 15 rows down. Now I don't know what yarn you're using or what hook you're using, so you're just going to have to keep putting it on there and seeing if it's nice and tight, and then you're going to have to sew it together tight. Don't make it loose. So I'm at 13 rows, so I just want to check to see if I could possibly... Oh, I could. So squeezing it together, I can sew these 2, so I think I'm going to stop at 13 rows. I think that's it for me. So you can do whatever you want. Like I said, I don't know what yarn you're using, but I'm going to just fasten off. I'm going to need a sewing tail. This part can just get weaved in. So squeeze it together however you want it. And you can just whip stitch. Now if you can do a flat panel on your machine this small and make one, then that's great. So just make sure you have it situated the way you want it. And then make a knot to secure what you just did. Now mine still moves a little bit. It's not that tight that it's not moving around. And you don't need to sew it to the headband. But if you prefer to sew it to the headband, you can. That way if you wash it and stuff like that, it's not going to be moving around. Me, I'm just going to go down as close as I can to my lead, into the headband itself, and then in between the double layers to hide my thing. And there we have it. Your bow tie headband. Oh, I gotta move mine over a bit. Mine wasn't quite in the middle. There we go. Your bow tie headband. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.